Welcome to this JMC presentation for a weekly webinar on student lists, exports, and PDFs. Oh my, it's January 13th, 2021. Welcome. My name is Paul Freed. I'm the lead trainer here at JMC. I've been for 25 years of educational experiences, and I'm joined by Bree Crook, our project manager at JMC. She's formerly an elementary teacher in Iowa. So we're your team presenters today. I'll be doing most of the presenting, and Bree will be monitoring the Q&A part. So please hold all of your questions until the Q&A sessions at the end of each section throughout. If you do need to communicate with the host, feel free to use the Q&A chat feature in your webinar toolbar. It says Q&A with a little Q on a file there. You just click on that and you can type in a question, but so it's great to wait till the end part there because I might answer your question as we move through the topic. All right, why are we here today? Creating reports and managing student data is an important skill to develop, especially in JMC. It will help you save time by finding the information you need quickly and easily. Today, let's dig into creating and saving student lists, exporting data from JMC Office, and generating state reporting error reports. So data entry and review in JMC Office is what managing your student information is all about. Create reports to help review and manage all of the student body's data at the same time. Then, share this information with other team members and even JMC tech support when you need a helping hand. Here are three of my favorite tools. Student lists. The powerful data mining function allows you to create, save, print, and export endless amounts of information from JMC. Want a report that isn't already in JMC? No problem. Simply create a student list. Plus, save these customized reports for future use. Report exports. You can manage and manipulate student data in programs like Google Sheets, Microsoft Excel, and any other spreadsheet program. So, if you don't like the way it's formatted in JMC or you want to be able to add other stuff or manipulate in some way, you can export those reports. Have a state reporting error you need help with? Print the error report to a PDF and email it to our tech support team so they can keep you moving through your state reporting requirements. Creating and saving student lists. So, as I before I get into this, I want to say with the student lists is that this data mining function is very, very useful and very powerful. And it's not hard to use. It just takes a little bit of practice a few times. So I'm going to go through it one time here with the directions. Then I'm going to look at it live and create a student list as well and talk about some of the other flexibility it has. And just even going through it twice will probably help give you a really good vision of what the JMC student list function can do. So there are over 100 reports available in JMC, those predetermined reports. Can't find what you're looking for? Create a student list data mining feature. To get started, go to Attendance Student Lists. Then from step one, so it's kind of interesting here as I was creating this presentation, we name everything step one, step two. And in this particular screen, one of the few screens, we have step one and step two listed right in there. So hopefully it doesn't confuse you. But from the step one column, and step one says, what do you want in the report right here? You'll select the category of information you'd like to include in your list. Now, fun fact, when you click on one of the pluses right here, it will open up, right, the available items you can add to your list. Then you click on the item here and it adds to your selected items list. So the selected items are the items that are going to be printed, right? So what do I want printed? What info do you want on the report? Select those items, they move to the selected item area, and that's what we printed on your report. Now, which kiddos do you want? So step two asks, what do you want in the report? This means you are selecting either random students or a range of students to display in this report. Now, most commonly, people are choosing a range. I'm going to start with the random, then I'm going to show you with the range. Both are not hard to do, but the random is pretty darn easy, right? Step three is use the drop-down list to select the random, and you can choose those random items of students, excuse me, random list of students there. If you want range, you would choose range from the student list here. So range, choose range. I'll show you how to do that next. Random simply means choose random and choose the random students, just like you would in any report in JMC, report cards or whatever it might be. Which group? If you choose ranges, follow these additional steps. You'll click the add link here to add in a range of students to report. A little fun fact, this will open a pop-up screen that allows you to create a report for the chosen range of students. So it defaults to all your active kids listed right here. So that actually is the first range. It's a default. You actually can change it here under the active. You could change it to inactive. You can change it to adults. It's pretty rare that you would do that. I mean, I suppose if you want a list of your adults that, for lunch numbers or something like that, probably you could change the active status there. But I don't even include it in the directions because it's such a rare item here. But it does default to the active students. That is the first range that you are choosing. Then in the pop-up screen that appears just like before, and that's one of the nice things about this is we use the same tools over and over again so you can become comfortable with them quickly. You'll click the plus again next to the icon that describes the range you'd like to view. So if you want activity ranges, you can choose activity or busing or contact or whatever it might be there. Then step 6 says I'm going to select the grade to have a report that only considers students within a specific grade range. So again, I'm choosing ranges. So I'm choosing grade because I want students in a specific grade range. Little fun fact, if you choose grade, enter the lowest and highest grades you'd like included in your report. You'll finish the range by selecting the bottom level of the range. So mine will default to KA through 12, but if I only wanted high schoolers, I could do 9 through 12 or whatever it might be. And then you'll click OK to save these settings. Now, you'll repeat the process if you'd like to add more than one search range. Okay, so fun fact, if you wish to remove a range, highlight it and click the remove link. So I would highlight this here and click remove if I want to get those. Okay, your list will be viewable in the order of your selections in the selected column. So I'm choosing who I want in the report. I'm going to get my kindergarten through 12th grade students. But still, I'm going to see here, it's going to have my name here. If I had grade level and so on and so forth, they'd be listed in this list right here as well. The last thing to know is I can add other ranges. So if I wanted my kindergarten through 12th grade students, but I only wanted the boys, I could add another range and put in here from male to male, and that would give me just those particular students that we have listed there. So you can add additional ranges. Now, this is where I tell people one of the most powerful parts of the report is step 3. Okay. It's how do you want the report sorted? Now, a lot of people just skip this step, and you can totally skip this step and still use this feature really well. You don't need to sort them in a particular way. But if you want to not have to export it to a spreadsheet and sort it in the spreadsheet, you can choose to sort it here. So by default, I'm going to start right over here. By default, your report will be sorted by name last first. This means the students we listed on the report in alphabetic order. So step 9 is in step 3, you click the add link and choose how you'd like your list to be sorted. If you want it to be different, then name last first. Fun fact, this will again open up a pop-up screen that allows you to choose additional sorting options listed here. So defaults to name, but you can sort it when you want. Why do I say this is powerful? Because you can come in here and you could say, you could actually come in here and I could highlight the name and I will do this and I can edit. I could say, I only want the girls cross country people. I only want, I want to sort it by that, right? Or I want to sort, excuse me. That's what you can do in the range. But down here, you could say, I only want to be sorted by locker number, right? So if I said, I want to print out the locker number of just the girls who are in um, cross country, but I want it sorted by locker number because then if they're going to put posters up on the lockers, you'll have them in the order that the locker numbers are instead of having them in alphabetic order, which are not going to be in the order that your lockers are in your school. So it's really a helpful way to be able to use how do you want the report sorted. All right, so then it's time to see what we created, right? So this is step 4, which is choose your format. Now, no matter what, you always got to click preview, just like any part of JMC. Okay, the report preview will be displayed in the box right down here, which all of you should be very used to seeing because that's how darn near report works in JMC. Then step 11 is choose one of the following ways to export or print your report by clicking the corresponding button, right? Print will print the report to your local computer and or local actually it goes to your computer first and then you can do it to your local printer if you want to, right? As you know, every report comes up as a PDF, then you can print that out. You can export the data that will export the report to a .csv file. That's what we're going to talk about a little bit later in this presentation. And you can also create labels. The create labels will print the report in a label format, and then you can then send it to your local printer. So again, a lot of tools just for getting that data out of the report that you've already created. All right, now once the report is set just the way you'd like it, you still have some handy options to choose from. Helpful tip, you can make and save several reports right here that you need over the course of the school year. Then when you need them, all the setup will be complete. To do this, type a name for your report in the save report as, and then click save report. So you simply come in here, click, put the name in save report as, and save report. Now you can get back to it every time. Then it's viewable under the reports item that's listed here. And again, I'll go through all these when we create those reports. Also, a little use item, but it's pretty helpful, is this number items. You can check the number item box to show a number beside each row of data for a quick way to see the number of results from your query. Now, again, what I always tell folks is, you know, there's a lot going on in this data mining function. And a lot of people that come to JMC from our student information systems actually say, wow, this is really easy compared to what I was doing before. And it is easy. But if data mining is new to you, again, you need to see it a few times. So let's take a live look at creating a student list. Here we go.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah,
While you're switching to the live look, we had a
yeah.
question come in. It is from Renee. She's asking if there's an option or will be an option to export to a Google Sheet.
So that's what I'm going to show next, right? How you can export it to a .csv file, and then you can open up in Google Sheets. Great question. That's part of the next section of this presentation. All right, here we go. So here's how we do a student list. Now, again, if you have some saved student lists, maybe you are a new administrative assistant or a principal to your school, you might say, hey, I wonder what reports are already in here. You can click on those and it will show you all the saved lists that you have previously. If you choose one of those, right, it's going to give the fields that we have listed right here. You could just come in here and preview this and see that report that's been created already. So that is pretty darn handy right there. But I'm going to do a new report, okay? So the first thing to do, right, I always say when I help people is I say, what report do I want? Say, okay, I want the baseball players in 12th grade. I want to know their, let's do 9th through 12th. My baseball players, 9th through 12th grade, I want to know their locker number. So first, what do I want in the report? Well, I want their name, first and last. I want their grade level. And again, you can include any items here, but now I need to get their locker number. So all these different plus items here will review different information. So I know that the locker number is under general, right? Because that's general student information, but I could find busing information here. I could find primary contact information here. I could look at, what else do I have here? Race ethnicity data, special ed information, all different kinds of things that I want here. I'm actually in the district building here. So I'm actually going to switch for a minute here. I'm going to go to the building because the building actually has more information in there that you can search on as well. So let's try it again. So you can see under the building, I've got course information here, GPA, all the other different kinds of fields that you might want to search on. So again, I want to find the locker number for my students who are in baseball. So common, I'm going to choose name first, last. And again, grade, just because, showing that I can do it. And then I'm going to come here under general. And I'm going to choose locker number. It's in alphabetical order. So here's my locker number. Or maybe I want the license plate number, whatever it might be. Okay. So those are my selected items right here. Now the range is who do I want? This would give me all the active students, right? So if I came in here, and sometimes the first time I create a report, I'll kind of do this with people. I'll click preview between each step. So I'll click preview and it's going to show me, oh, great. There's all my students right here. And their locker number. Now, this is a demo database, so I don't have all the locker numbers in there, right? So now let's say, okay, I only want the baseball students. It's going to have all the active students here. Now, just to repeat again, I could say I want to see my inactive students or my adults or whatever it might be. But again, usually we're doing it for all active students here, probably 99% of the time. So I want to add in another filter, okay? The range of the filter that's listed there. So it's active students. I want to add another filter in, so I'm going to click add. And I only want the students in baseball. So I'm going to come here under activities, choose activity. It's going to open another list and say, what activity do I want? Now, again, if I chose grade level, just to kind of show you the other example here, just like I did in my presentation, when I choose grade, oops, I didn't choose grade level. Sorry, there we go. If I choose grade level, got to actually click on it. And I only want my high schoolers, I could do from 9 to 12. And let's do this. Let's say that my baseball team was 7 through 12, but I only want 9 through 12 graders. I'll do my 9 through 12th graders. And now I want the students who are in baseball in 9th through 12th grade. I could click add again. So I'm adding another filter, choose my activity. And I can choose baseball high school because I think I've got some students in there. Like I said, this is my demo database here. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to preview this and you're going to see it change, right? I've got 3rd grade students, 8th and 6th right here. So when I click preview again, it's going to now show me, oh, I've only got no students in that activity. So let me see if I've got another activity here. Let me edit that. So maybe I chose the wrong activity here. Oh, this is the one. It's actually this baseball one here. Sorry about that. There we go. Now I'm going to preview it again. And again, I almost could have intentionally made that mistake, right? I've only got one kid in there, but to show you how easy it is to edit it when you've got that particular list there, right? So I've got one kid as a high school kid, but we'll still go through it, right? Then how do I want it sorted? It's sorted by alphabetically here. But if I wanted to, I could come in and I could sort it by locker number there, right? So this is the locker number that I have here. I simply would come here and say, I don't want it sorted by name. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to sort it by locker number. So I'm going to come here under my general locker number. And now you're not going to see much happen here, right? Of course, because there's only one kid there, but that would show me that locker number. But just to show you, say for example, I wanted all my 9th through 12th graders instead of just my baseball players. Again, I'm showing you how easy it is. I'm going to choose this particular one, and I'm going to remove it. So now I'm going here. I'm just doing my 9th through 12th graders, and I'm going to preview this. And this is going to be my 9th through 12th graders, not sorted alphabetically, right? Not sorted by their grade, but by locker number. Now, this is going to show me which kids don't have a locker number already, which is kind of also another great way to use this feature, right? Because it's going to show me the blanks first, right? Because it's sorting on the number, and the number blank is lower than even number 0. And then here we get to the locker numbers listed right down here. So this starts with a 0, little funky on that one again. Just my demo database, we have 123, 141, 196, 500. So you could get a list of all the students in a grade level, whatever that might be. They're listed just by that. So really handy to be able to run that report. So once you've created the report and you have it just the way you like, right, you can preview it. Then I can print it. If I print it, it's actually going to print it up here. And I can choose if I want to save it to a PDF, which we're going to talk about later, send it to my local printer or whatever it might want to be there. So really easy to do there. I can export to a spreadsheet. That's what we're talking about the next session. Also, creating labels is pretty cool. Maybe you want a label to go on a student's Cume folder or something like that. You can do that. It'll bring it up again in a PDF format first, which I've got right down here. It says every student there in their grade level. And then if I scroll down, you can see here's their locker number that's listed right there for you as well. So, you might, one thing I don't discuss in this is that teachers also have the ability to, uh, to use student lists. And so they can also create those labels. So if they want some labels about the student's name and grade level or birth date, and they want to be able to put it on their folders in their room, they have a little bit, it's the same functionality, but they don't have all the features on the left side here. They have the ones that are only pertinent to them as a classroom teacher. If I want to save this report and I want to call it my locker report here, I simply come in here and click locker report and click save. Now it's saved. So it's right there for me. So if I ever come back here again and I want to use that same list or edit it, I can come here and say, all right, there it is. Where's my lock report? And let's say you do this commonly, you're the athletic secretary, and you do this commonly, you could come in here, have it just like this and say, hey, I am now going to add in that activity like baseball, and I'll preview that, and I'll export that to a spreadsheet or whatever, give it to the baseball coach, and then I'll do it for volleyball or whatever it might be. So you can come in and do those things. Additionally, like I said before, you can click the number items and preview, and that will number to tell you how many kids we have in this certain set. I've got 52 students that are listed here. And this would tell me if I want to, hey, how many kids don't have a locker number, right? I come down here, can tell you this blank, 44 kids in this particular building. Grades 9 through 12 don't have a locker number. Last thing, like I said before, is that you can come in and you can click on items here under selected, and that will remove those items if you want to. So easy to be able to manage that as well. I think that's all the main points I have. My big advice I give to people is go in there and play with it, right? Cut yourself a little slack the first time you're going to do it. It's not hard to do. You're never going to hurt anything by creating a report, but you can play with the data that's listed in there. And again, you can create those reports on so many different things that you want to. You can do it on custom fields if you're doing the online summer registration, right? Which people didn't answer the question, can we administer Tylenol to your student here? I'm going to come in here and preview that. And again, this is how easy it is. And now I can see which people can we administer Tylenol to your student. They've got which has the Y's and which ones are blank right there, right? Really easy to come in, add, and take those items out and to save those items for future use. My final word of advice is I always kind of talk myself literally out loud when I do the first one. So I'll say, okay, what do I want in the report? I'm going to print the student's name and grade level. Oh, you know what? There's something else I want in there. I want their GPA. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to choose their GPA. Sometimes when you choose a certain item, it will bring up a dialog box because there's different types of GPA. I want my SEM1 GPA at least 0 here for their CUME here. I'm going to do it for the term. I'll do it for CUME and then click OK. I'm like, oh, there we go. So that will add that GPA that's listed in there for me as well. I can preview that and see what that report is. But once I get where I want it, I like to, again, read it off and say, all right, I'm getting all my students named first and last with their grade level and GPA. For all my kids in grade 9 through 12 with a GPA, it's summarizing here because when I choose the GPA as an item to print, it actually can narrow the number of students down. If I had a GPA from 3.0 to 4.0, right, there would be a limiting there. So I'd be adding a range in. And how do I want the report sorted? I want it sorted by locker number. So I read that off, preview it, and then decide if I want to what I want to do with the data, and then save it when I'm ready to go. So, floor is yours. Go ahead and share any of your questions with me using the Q&A feature. So I will, I'm going to grab a drink of water, and then I will see if anybody has any questions here. So go ahead and share any questions that you have at this time about any maybe specific reports or things you might be looking at. The other thing to note, well, people might be typing questions, or maybe I answer everybody's questions, is that um, a little, again, a little tip that I've learned from some schools as I've helped them create student lists is you don't need to actually include the student's name on these student lists. So I ran into a school one time who said, Paul, we have this situation where with, I don't know what the activity was, chess club, let's say. For chess club, that we put up posters every week on kids' lockers, but one kid is not getting a poster on his locker because he's getting bullied or ignored or whatever it might be. So what can we do about this? And I said, well, how are you getting it? Well, we're doing a student list with the name and locker number. And so together we actually came up with the idea of, hey, we could actually put out the locker numbers, but not to put the student's name. And you could actually, instead of sorting alphabetically, because if a kid wanted to, they could maybe figure out like alphabetically it is, set their, set the sort order instead of by, you could do it by locker number. That would be the easiest, but you could sort by any number of ways there as well. And so also if you wanted to, let's say, hey, let's look up our 12th graders GPA and share it with the 12th grade teachers, but we don't want them to know who has what GPA, you could do a GPA report. Don't do student name, just do their GPA. You can sort it by GPA or sort it by bus number, whatever you want, but there's a lot of easy ways you can get information to a group of people, but still respect students' privacy. The students' privacy, of course, is paramount. So you really have to think about that, but there can be some ways you can use that. So great. I see that a question came in here.
Yeah. Hey, Paul, it's from
Yeah.
Chris.
Okay.
He is wondering, once a report is saved, can anyone see or use that report?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that question, Chris. Once your report is saved, anybody can save or see or use those reports as well. So sometimes in our larger school districts where I have, maybe um, in the front office, maybe they've got 3 or 4 people, right? 1,000 kids in the building or 2,000 kids or whatever it might be. Sometimes I'll encourage people to put their initials in front of them. I don't know if people do that or not. I give out lots of advice on these webinars, so it's hard to know what people do and what don't. But if there's one that you like, you sure could put your initials in front of it, or to maybe just have a way to sort them for attendance reports or something like that as well. So absolutely, anybody can see them. I like that because I've been at a school where sometimes somebody will say to one admin assistant will say to another one, hey, can you pull up that locker report? It's I've got it listed there, and they'll go and find that. Or when a new administrator comes in, when they talk to the old administrator say, hey, here's 3 reports that you need to run for federal reporting or something like that. Right side JMC, here's what I named them. So that can be helpful there.
All right, Paul, we got a handful of questions now.
Great. Yep.
All right, this next one is from Connie. She's asking, in the schedule table, can you print just certain students on all students in a grade? For example, just special education students.
In the schedules table, I have to look at that question here. I don't know because schedules are not printed here. So I might need a little more information from Connie about, is she talking about a different report or talking about student lists? So it's kind of, you'll have to add to that just a little bit there as well. Because I'm not sure. But on this report, you could just do your special ed students. So when you want who's in the report, right? If you had, anytime you want to limit the students that you're choosing, you have to be able to queue up on something. So this is an Iowa database. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to add in a filter, and we're going to go to special ed. Okay, I don't work with Iowa a lot, so I'm going to I'm going to kind of make this up. If you're in Iowa school, I apologize, but there is a special ed, right, item here. So if I wanted this, I could say if they have a yes in that box, I could do from Y to Y, or it might be, and that would give me my special ed students that are listed there. Now, sometimes you might not know what JMC has in there for a field. So what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll say, okay, I haven't done this for a while because we're doing a really great job at telling people what is in the field or checkboxes. But if I preview this, it's going to show me, oh, I'm going to include special ed here as well. And again, this is how I play with it as well, right? I kind of think about, okay, somebody wants special ed, they want to sort by special ed. What is JMC looking for here? So I'm going to add special ed, preview this. It's going to show me what we have in that field. So under SPED, there's no's, and again, demo database, but there'd be some yeses in there. So if I said, oh, I want just the kids were SPED, I'd come in here. I'm gonna remove my 9th through 12th grade because Connie didn't say anything about grade level, and I'd come here for my SPED students from Y to Y. So I'd come here under special ed, and I would do Y to Y, and then that would. And this isn't going to give me anybody because I don't have any kids that have a Y in there. But if I did an end to N, that of course would still give me the same number of students there. But if I did that and preview that, I'm actually going to preview. It's going to give me nobody, right? Because nobody had a yes there. Oh, I did. Look at that, Paul Freedom. What a great name. Paul Freedom is the only person that has a Y in special ed. And so that would be the student that could do that there.
Thanks, Paul. Connie
Yeah.
did clarify that she said not in the list, but under schedules.
Oh, so schedules. What was the report again?
Just special education
The
students in this.
schedules table.
Yeah.
Schedules course. If she's doing just schedules, now again, I'm not sure that that's what she means. Oh, here's the schedule table. Not a report I run very often. There's no way to be able to run this particular one just for special ed students. So, but you could, right? Um, uh, you could, when you're printing schedules, right, you'd have to go in and you'd have to choose those random students. Um, or if the students were attached to an advisor, you could do that, but they might not all be attached to the same advisor. So, Connie, you could always put a request in to say, hey, could we actually select by activity? And the reason I say that is if you've been any of our trainings on activities are just ways of grouping students together. And so you could group your students under special ed there. So just definitely an idea there. So great.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
Next question is from Brett. He's asking if teachers only see the reports that they save, and do office users only see office reports?
So teachers only see their own reports, and office teachers see anybody's office report that's saved in the office. The idea there is that um, that office users will share reports, but teachers typically have their own specific reports they'll use.
All right, thank you. And this one is from Susan. She's asking, does the item in the step 3 have to be listed in the step 2 column?
No, it doesn't. That's a great question, Susan. The answer is none of these need to be listed in any column. You could get as creative as you want. I could say, I want to list the kids. Let's just do name, right, under the selected column. But I don't want it sorted by name. I want it sorted by their bus number. Okay. And I'm going to do their bus location number. Give me a second here. Got a lot. There we go. Route bus number. And so it's going to give me their bus location, route number, and I can preview that. And it's going to give me all the kids' names in what's going to seem like a very random order. And it is random because it's based on their bus number. So actually, none of these fields have to have the same things. That's why I was saying that you could even put the locker number here, but sort it by name, and nobody would know who those kids are. So that's a really cool thing to be able to do as well. And that's why you could say I could put GPA information here or whatever you want, and not put the student's name there, but you could still sort it by student name. So great question.
All right, Bill asked a question. He is wondering if the reports cross buildings. So for example, if the high school secretary creates a report, would the elementary secretary be able to see the report?
They do not, I don't believe. Let me just check and see. We've been making a lot of updates. That's a great question. My own team's keeping me busy there. So, oh, they do baseball birthday bus. Well, actually, I put in the locker report. So they do cross over between the district and the buildings. Because I don't have two buildings here, Bill, I'll have to say I'm not 100% sure. It looks to me like they're district wide. That's a guess. It could be that the district sees all the reports and buildings only see their individual reports. But if I was to hazard a guess, it would be that they all see all their reports. Great. All the questions. Let's keep rolling. All right, exporting data from JMC Office. So throughout the year, you may find that there are certain reports that would be better managed in a spreadsheet form. Here's what we're gonna do. So I'm using the same report. I'll go to a couple of reports to show you, but I just kind of want to show student lists here again. Step one, choose the report you'd like to export and preview the report to ensure it has the data entered in. So you do all the report stuff you need to do. Step two is click the export data button to export the report to your computer in a .csv format. Fun fact, the report, the .csv file format, is the format needed to be open in the spreadsheet programs. All right, then you'll save that file. So a fun fact, a pop-up window will appear asking you to save the exported file. So step three is click the save file button, or your button to save the exported CSV file to your computer. Now, I will tell you, right, there is differences between Windows and Mac, and there's differences even on my Mac computer. There's a difference between Firefox and Chrome. So, but in general, what you're doing is you're clicking the export button. In general, you're saving that file to your computer, and then you'll click the OK button to finish the process of saving the exported CSV file to your computer. Now that the file is saved to your computer, you can open it in the spreadsheet program of your choice. So here's an example of how to do this in Google Sheets. So you'll open your Google Drive account. Okay, then you'll click the plus or new button. So this is different in different programs, but just showing you as an example, if you've got Microsoft Excel, you would click on the file and say, what do you want to open it with? You'd open with Microsoft Excel, but this is how I do it in Google Sheets. You'll click the plus new button to prepare you to upload your .csv file. Step three, choose the file upload button option to select a file from your computer to upload. Step four, find the download.csv file on your computer and highlight it. So you'll find the one you just downloaded. Click open button to upload, your CSV file to Google Sheets. Now that the file is ready to be uploaded, indicate to Google Sheets what you want to do with the CSV file. So step six is choose Google Sheets option to convert the CSV file to a Google Drive spreadsheet. Then the file is now being converted to a spreadsheet formatted in Google Sheets. You're now able to manipulate it any way you'd like. So all these steps can easily be done in 20 to 30 seconds. I know it seems like a lot of steps, and I think it's actually easier if you do something on your local computer like Excel. I don't use Excel anymore. I use Google Sheets exclusively, but once you get used to it, it goes pretty quickly. So you'll be able to export data, sort it, and share it with your team in no time flat. So let's take a live look at exporting your CSV file. So again, you'll come in here, and let's say I'm going to choose this file right here. I think I had my locker report right here, right? And you're going to come in, and I would preview that. So just to show you, I would do in student list here as well. Now again, any screen that you see a an export button on means that there is the ability to export that information, and that's pretty sweet because we actually not every screen has the ability to be able to do that. But if you ask us to, typically we'll put that in there for you because we add the export buttons in as they are requested. So when those things get requested, we add the export button there, and then you're able to go ahead and access it as you are able to be able to do that. So I'll show you a couple of other items there as well. But again, if you get to a screen, it's got an export button, it's ready to go for you. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to export the data. So in my Firefox, it actually brings it up in the top right corner. In my Chrome, it brings it down here. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to open this file. Actually, it's going to open it to my local one here. So I'm actually going to, so this on my Mac, I've got a spreadsheet program already here called Numbers. That's one way that'll work if it's on your local computer. Okay, so let's close that. Okay, let's try it again here. Let's export it again. So showing you the different things that happen here. Now I'm going to show in my Finder, which means it's already been downloaded. So it's the student list export.csv, right? So I know it's down here, and I know it's on my desktop or my downloads. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, and I've got to move my little toolbar here. I'm going to go to my Google Drive, click New, File Upload, go from my desktop to my downloads, student list export, open. Okay. Now I've already got one in there, right? So I'm just going to keep it separate. It's going to ask me what I want to do there. So it's going to keep it separate in there. I'm going to open that up now. When I open that up, it's going to say, what do I want to open it with? So what do I open it with? I'm going to open it with Google Sheets. There's different options there. This is the way I would do it to open it in Google Sheets here. And even with all my talking and jibber jabbering, you can see it just takes a few minutes to come in here. And now I've got this spreadsheet. Then I can sort it and I can do mail merge or whatever items I have that are listed there. So really easy to be able to use and run that information right there. So like I said before, you can go to all kinds of different reports. Let's go to, and I didn't think of too many that I want to do. Let's go to I think GPA reports. If I go to grading reports to my honor roll, there's an export button there, class rank, export button there as well. So, and sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes people want more information exported than is on the displayed preview. So sometimes we'll add them under the export as well. So sometimes you'll find that when you do an export, you might get a little more information than you even bargained for, because we want to make sure those exports are useful for you. Okay, so the floor is yours. That one's pretty straightforward, right? There's not a lot to it other than, click export data, save it to your desktop or wherever it will be saved to someplace, typically automatically. Sometimes I'll drag them to my desktop. And then you'll choose the program that you want to be able to use it to open up that spreadsheet. Google, like I say, Google Sheets, it's a little, I don't want to say cumbersome to open up a Google Sheets. It's 4, 5, 6 clicks, but it's not that hard once you get into using it. So pretty easy to be able to do. So, all right, Christina said, can I run through the export steps one more time? Absolutely, Christina. So here we go. Let's do it on this one. So I'm going to do my class. Let's do my honor roll. Okay, so I'll come in here. So any report you have, you've got to preview it, then export it. For my Google Chrome, right, it automatically downloads it, just so you know. But if I wanted to, I could come in here and see, all right, see, I opened it again. I don't usually do it this way, but to show you, you could come in here and say, I want to show it in my Finder. I don't need to, but you could show it in your Finder, drag it to your desktop, whatever you want. However you're exporting that CSV file to your computer, that's for you and your web browser to decide how it's going to get to your computer. But usually when you export, it's already downloaded. You just need to go out and find it. And it's going to tell you it's that honor roll CSV. So if I came in here now to my Google Sheets, right? Another way I could do this is I could, let's go back here. Because it's called honor roll, I can come here and click new, and I can do a file upload. And you can actually type in here honor roll, right? It's at my top, as you can see here. But say I didn't know where it was, right? I could type in HONOR_ROLL. Okay. And because I will tell you, sometimes these Mac searches drive me crazy. So it's much easier to come in here. There we go. Here's my honor roll right here. That's one. I've got some old ones, December 2001, right? There we go. Here's my honor roll CSV. And I like it because I can see when it was modified. And that's going to open that up for me as an honor roll CSV file that's listed there. There we go. And then it's going to be able to open it. I clicked on it, and there's my honor roll. And it doesn't actually convert it right away. That's why I need to open it with my Google Sheets. So when you export, it's going to download for you automatically, or it will bring up a pop-up and say, what do you want to do with this file? You would say, I want to save this file. Or sometimes you can open it right away in your spreadsheet program. Great. Any other questions about that? Doesn't look like it. All right. Keep it rolling. Getting help for state reporting errors. Is that the reason it's focused on state reporting is any errors you get in JMC are usually pretty straightforward. And what we mean by errors are the errors that you would need a little hand holding with. So our tech support team is here to help you with state reporting errors. The best way for us to take a look is to save the errors in a PDF format. So lots of times people send us screenshots of errors from, the DPI or Mars or whatever it might be, NSSRS. Uh, those aren't helpful because they don't necessarily have all the detail, right? So we like the PDFs. So generate a PDF is easy to do and can be helpful for taking any report and saving it to your computer for use later. Here's what you need to do. And so a lot of people already know how to do this, but it's a good tool if you've never used it before. So first, you'll click the print summary button, right? Now, this is an example of a Wisconsin one we have here to print the report from the JMC office. This will typically open a print dialog screen. Now, again, this is different for Mac, different for Windows, different for different users, different operating systems as well. But in general, you're going to click the print summary, right? And then typically it will bring up a dialog, or as you can see, it will bring up a little icon like it did in my Chrome. Now you'll need to determine what type of format you want to print the document to. So if you're used to printing, right, it's going to default to my Canon MF 4400 series. I do a lot of printing to PDF, so it defaults to my save as PDF. But your destination, you'll change to save as PDF. That's in Mac or Windows. You've got to change what you're printing it to. Sometimes in Firefox, or maybe it's Chrome, I don't remember for Mac, there'll be a button down here that says save to PDF, but you're not printing to paper. Somewhere on your web browser, you're choosing save to PDF, okay? And then that will be the save to PDF from the destination drop-down list. Then you'll click the save button. You'll continue the process of saving the PDF to your computer. Typically will come up and a name will need to be entered for the form to be saved and a destination will need to be set. So step 5, enter the name of the document you're saving in the Save As field. Helpful hint, we recommend you add in the date the report was generated for future reference. You don't need to do that, but when it comes to air reporting, if you're doing lots of these, it can become quickly confusing. So name it, the date, and also I think sometimes the screen that you're on. Step 6, choose where on your computer you want to save it to, right? Step 7, click the save button to complete the process of creating this report and saving it to a PDF on your computer. And step 8, if this is something you want help with from tech support, maybe it's something you want help with your internal team, but if it's tech support, create an email, address it to support@jmcinc.com, attach the PDF file of errors, and send. So let's take a live look at creating a PDF file. So I'm not going to go to an error report here. I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to print. Okay. And it asks me right away, what's my destination? Now, this is a Chrome. So in Chrome, I would choose, I'm going to save it as a PDF and click Save. And I'm going to have to name it. And this is going to be my JMC demo PDF. And I'll save that. And that's all there is to it. Okay. If I'm on my Firefox and I click that print, lots of times the button will be down here that says save to a PDF. So a couple different options there for you. So I'm gonna save it to a PDF. I'm gonna save it. The one thing I didn't show last time is what do I want to save it to? I can save it to my desktop, or I can save it to my downloadable items, or whatever it might be that I want listed there. And then I can save that particular item there. So really easy to create PDFs. It's just so easy. It's just as easy as taking a screenshot and dragging it to an email and things like that as well. So the great thing is it's an easy way for you to communicate effectively with our tech support team. So, all right, any questions about exporting to a PDF? Any questions at all? That one's pretty darn straightforward there. And if you need help, our tech support team can help you. But more commonly, if somebody need help with that, I would have them ask their own in-house tech team to just look over their shoulder, or ask, if you're a school administrator, ask another school administrator or one of your administrative assistants. They probably can tell you how to be able to do that as well.
Hey, Paul, we had a
Yeah,
couple questions come in.
great.
The first one is from Jody. She's asking, where do we find errors for Iowa?
Oh, Jody, you're asking the wrong person. I don't do Iowa. I have an Iowa database here, but I'm not exactly sure where you would find that. So I know that one of the great things about the great state of Iowa is that the Iowa Department of Education, Rachel Cruz, helps you work through errors. I'm guessing it's been a long time under SRI that when you send information in or create a file for Department of Education, there might be an error. There it is. So under Iowa SRI, create a file for Iowa Department of Education. You can check for errors, and you can again print those errors and put them into a PDF. Those you wouldn't actually typically send to JMC, as the Iowa Department of Education helps people through those as well. So I just had to talk through it a little bit there, Bree, and I finally stumbled upon the answer that I was looking for. So great.
And one more from Beth. Beth is asking, can you add a PDF to a special ed dialog box in the student data screen? For example, IEP accommodations
That's
so
a
that the teacher can see them.
yeah, great question. She kind of snuck in a PDF related question, Bree, and I appreciate that. So under View Student Data, in case you don't know, folks, there's a great tab called the Special Ed tab. And the Special Ed tab allows you to come in and put in any special ed information you want in here. I think I've got one in for John McElmurray here. Um, Yep. So who's his case manager? He needs extra reading test time and so on and so forth. I click that share with teachers button, and then it will show up as a pencil in this JMC teacher to indicate to the teacher that there's special ed information about that student. We added in this year, 2020, 2021, the ability now to add a file. So you can come in here, add that file in, find out whatever file you want there and select it, and then you're good to go. And then it also will tell you what that file is. So I have an example report card email message. That's just a demo one I have there. But if I deleted this out, you would see that there's no file attached, but I can go ahead, take whatever that special ed accommodation is, or if there's a 504 plan, add that file in, and teachers will be able to download that file right from their JMC teacher, without having to ever go to the office. So that's a great feature. Great. Any other questions, Bree?
So far, so good.
Well, I think we are wrapping it up then. All right. So that's it. Upcoming webinar schedule. Next week, master schedule building for 21-22. That is actually part one of a two-part series. So if it's interested in learning how to do master schedule building, got two of our awesome client service specialists from the great state of Iowa who are going to be presenting at that. And then 127, the last one of the month, is new features in JMC. So sign up today via the office or teacher homepage. Do you love JMC or interested in a part-time gig? We're hiring client service program specialists. So if you're maybe looking at retiring this year, you're an office professional, tech pro, you're an administrator, or you know one of those folks who loves JMC, we've got some great part-time gigs to help you stay connected to education, connected to JMC, but also keep in touch with those folks that you love to keep in touch with. All right. Well, I will hang on for another minute or so, but for any questions, but thanks for your time. And thank you for choosing JMC. And thank you, Bree, for joining us. It was very much appreciated.